Do you expect improvements this week?
I do. I think anytime you simplify things, you're trying to slow things down a little bit and make it easier for the players. And I wouldn't expect there to be so many gaffes like we saw on Sunday, where guys get totally turned around or two guys stay on the same receiver and somebody's wide open just moving down the side. I don't think we're going to see anywhere near as much of that. I also think it helps that you're playing New England, which isn't exactly a prolific offense. So that should help. And these guys are also
Seattle, though.
Well,
in fact, Seattle was.
Yeah, but Seattle had weapons. We knew this going in. It's okay. Geno Smith was a dink and dunk guy, and yet you're like, how are you dink and dunk when you've got DK Metcalf, when you got Lockett? Those are guys that stretch the field and that weren't stretching the field up to that point. They did against the Lions, and they were totally capable of it all season long. It didn't happen until Sunday. So you look at New England, who's stretching the field there?
Well, here's what I'll ask you about New England. 26.5. Over or under 26.5 points for New England this weekend.
What do they average normally?
Well, I can tell you that they have scored 26. I chose 26.5 because their highest offensive output came against the Ravens when they scored 26.
Right. They average 18.5 points a game.
Okay.
I would lean towards the under of 26.5, but not by much. I think I could see 24, 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
It's important to keep in mind when they played the Ravens and scored 26, they had Mac Jones for the entire game.
That is important.
And now they have Bailey Zappi. So one would suspect that the Lions should be able to hold them under 26.5. It's not an explosive offensive team. I keep going back to, are the Lions particularly vulnerable to a somewhat mobile quarterback? Not even a great runner. Like Jalen Hurts is.
That's exceptional.
Yes.
He's exceptional.
Bailey Zappi. I just can't. I can't under normal circumstances see him having a great day. But I also feel like until I see this Lions defense do something, I'm worried that they're about to give up their New England's highest point total of the year.
So go to the previous game when the Lions played on the road. The only road game they've got is at Minnesota. They lost 28-24 at Minnesota. Minnesota has all types of offensive weapons.
Yep.
And they've got a veteran quarterback that is, a god on Sunday 1:00 games at home over the last 3 years. That's just what Kirk Cousins is.
There and there only.
Yes. That's his moment to shine, is 1:00 games at home on Sundays over the last few years. He's been ridiculously good. The quarterback rating of 110. So that's what Kirk Cousins is, and they scored 4 times. They've got weapons. New England doesn't have the weapons that Minnesota does. Plus, I expect that this is a week where the defense, look, these are prideful guys. They're professionals. They don't want to look as bad as they have. 35 points a game that they've given up this year? Unacceptable. And at some point, that's going to resonate and they're going to play better. Just like I think at some point the offense is going to stop scoring 35 points a game. And that may happen this weekend as well. But I like the Lions' chances of winning this game. And I really like their chances of being better defensively. And that's the reason that they would win the game.
It's funny the perspective that time can give you. Midway through the fourth quarter, the Lions' defense had held Minnesota to 14 points. They were having a good defensive game. Now, what you are 51 minutes into a game isn't who you are. It's what you are after 60 minutes. All know that. In retrospect, the fact that this defense held Minnesota to 14 points into the fourth quarter is remarkable. It's just remarkable. I hope they're better. I hope Bailey Zappi is way in over his head and the Lions can take advantage of that and get a road win. But I've kind of regressed to the I'll believe it when I see it. I know sometimes we call our shots. I can't call the Lions defense doing anything. I'd take the over until I see it.
How much do you think if the Lions were to be able to look like a normal defense this Sunday, right? There's going to be changes being made. I mean, I don't want to overreact either way, but you're also playing Bailey Zappi, right? So how much are the changes going to help? But how much is it also the other team starting their third-string rookie quarterback? This may be the perfect game for them, though, to try to make some changes and see something positive happen, right? Because at this point, I think you got to get, like, morale up in the defensive side of the ball. They can't – they're looking at each other probably like, what we got to do – we got to get a punt. Let's just see the other team punt one time. You know, sometimes like in basketball, you need a layup or a free throw. You need to see the ball go through the net.
Ball go through the hoop.
They need confidence, man, and they need to see the other team punt.
Got to see the ball go in the cup, right?
Right?
Yeah,
you got to hear that sound, right?
The idea that the Lions are at just, I got to see a punt.
And early. I'm not talking like in the second half, finally they punt. Like, it's got to happen. A 3-and-out to start that game might be huge for the Lions defense.